Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Cyanotype. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. This is our morning get-together live here on Facebook. We take a look at news from our city, state, and country, and we take a look at your comments, ideas, suggestions, questions about how to best connect here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals, connect with each other, connect with the destination, connect with the many visitors that favor our city, and of course also welcome some of the visitors that favor our city, that think like locals or want to know how us locals carry on our lives on a daily basis here in town. It is all welcome, along with those of you that watch us later on in the day, that watch the replay either on Facebook or on YouTube. It's great to see you on this morning. It is Thursday, January 30th. Can you believe the first, sorry about that, the first month of 2025 is already gone, and the rest of the year is ahead for us to enjoy. We have all kinds of interesting news, not really. We have one bit of news that I could find that I thought you would appreciate for the first half of the show, and then we have a bunch of chit-chat stuff that I want to share with you, along with a couple of events that I thought were interesting, or at least I think you might be interested in them. And I wanted to talk a little bit about yesterday's spotlight. It was like a breath of fresh air. It was great guests, great conversations, interesting thoughts that I want to share with you this morning. So as always, pum 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 pum. If you have an important question or comment that you wish to have brought up, please add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your question. And if you're watching live for the first time and you would like a little bit of a welcome, we're happy to do that if you add a capital letter N, as in new, to your comment. So we start with news. These are not good news. They're not bad news, but let's just figure out what happens when you are a cop in Puerto Vallarta and you stop a vehicle and you ask for a bribe, and when the driver chooses not to follow suit and you get aggressive with the driver and then you get caught, well, you get fired. And that's precisely what happened to these two lady cops working here in Puerto Vallarta. It is interesting to note that this incident is not new. In fact, it took place back in September of 2023, but it took this long for the trial against these ladies to take place, this past January 27, to be precise. And along with them, of course, the municipal judge that took charge of the original case also went bye-bye. And as usual, what do we say? We say, tómala. This is good to know, actually, if you ask me. Anyhow, yesterday, I went ahead and posted this on the Coffee and Headlines Facebook page. Are you a volunteer in Puerto Vallarta? Do you enjoy it? We're looking for a few testimonials from awesome volunteers whose lives have been transformed here in town through volunteerism. Please feel free to chime in below and include the name of your organization. Thanks. And I was not prepared for some of the really heartwarming comments that we've been able to get on the page. So whether you choose to share your own experience as a volunteer in Puerto Vallarta, or you choose to be inspired by some of the stories some great locals are sharing with us. I'm going to include the link to this in the show notes today so that we can continue nurturing this post. Its purpose will become clear this coming week. This coming week once this coming week arrives. So let's stay in suspense between now and then. And now let's take a quick look at the weather forecast just to see what's going on out there. Jesus hula hopping Christ. It's partly cloudy, it says, and it is 20 degrees out there. Humidity is lowish at 66%. What a great day to go out and enjoy a nice walk. Our weather forecast says it's going to be partly cloudy skies throughout the day with a high of 24 and a low of 14. Then on Friday, partly cloudy skies throughout the day. That will be tomorrow with a high of 24 and a low of 14. And then on Saturday, we can expect clear skies throughout the day with a high of 25 and a low of 14. So that's the weather we can expect for the next 3 days. But I'm going to chime in on that comment from our snarky weatherman. It said, Jesus hula hopping Christ, it's partly cloudy, because I was briefly reminded for a bit of news that I did not collect for this morning, but I thought you would be amused by that. Whenever we talk about the Catholic Church in Mexico, it usually has something to do either with something wonderful and cultural that is happening, or because the Catholic Church is meddling in political affairs. Well, the latest bit of interesting news from Mexico's Catholic Church has to do with the fact that some merchants, I think this is happening in Mexico City, but it could be happening elsewhere. I forget what the news item said, but some merchants of mercados, places where you can certainly find religious images of Jesus and other important figures from the Catholic Church. Well, let's focus on the Jesuses. Apparently, somebody decided to start selling baby Jesus figurines with T-shirts of Mexico's soccer teams, particularly, I believe, the America, which is the soccer team of choice in Mexico City. And of course, the Catholic Church quickly said, please stop selling these figurines with a T-shirt of your favorite football team. I can certainly appreciate why the church would be a little ruffled, but, maybe the church will appreciate how politicians feel when the church sticks their nose in politics business. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying this is happening somewhere in Mexico. And now, whether you are interested in circus or mezcal or raicilla or beer or all of the above, there will be something for you at this festival taking place in 2 days at Marina Riviera Nayarit. It's the Festival de Circo Agave by Fera Mese, and it's open to the public. They're selling tickets. Oh, how bizarre. It says pre-Christmas sale, even though this is happening on February 1st and 2nd, 200 pesos. That's what I'm getting at. It says 200 pesos per person, and you can enjoy a bunch of bands, circus acts, and all the aforementioned spirits, which you can explore and enjoy at this event. I also want to tell you that while I was browsing Facebook this morning, I found this Cyanotype workshop, which starts on February 8th at Colectivo Hueco, which is located, if you're in Colonia, Buenos Aires, and you see the beautiful pedestrian bridge that goes over the Quale River. Well, it's located not on the Buenos Aires side, but on the opposite side of the bridge, just as you exit from it. Cyanotype is, in case you're wondering, a photographic printing process that creates a blue image on paper, fabric, or other materials. It's one of the oldest photographic processes, and it is often used for art and reprography. And the beautiful thing about this process is that it does not rely on technology or electricity. I remember participating in cyanotype workshops when I was younger, and I always found myself amused and interested in the technique. So if you're a photographer, or if you want to, or you want to explore the possibility of printing photographic images onto paper or onto tote bags or other materials, this might be an interesting workshop for you to pursue. And then I have a bit of important news. As you know, it's part of my job description to always be looking for excuses to travel to Guadalajara, not only for me, but for anyone that wants to broaden your curiosity and comfort level and start exploring some of Mexico. Well, the latest great reason to be in Guadalajara is the Ballet Folklórico de México de Amalia Hernández. This is Mexico's preeminent folkloric ballet, Amalia Hernández's ballet. This is a one that performs in Mexico City at the Fine Arts Palace. This is the one that you don't want to miss if you go to Mexico City and visit the Fine Arts Palace. The Ballet Folklórico de México will be performing on April 6th at 7:30 at Teatro Diana in Guadalajara. I put it in my calendar as an intention. I don't know that I'm going to be able to go, but this is certainly something that I would love to attend. I also wish to tell you a little bit about yesterday's spotlight, how wonderful it was to connect with two nonprofits and one for profit that is also involved in charitable events. Ashley Werder from the Nomad Family Photo Group talked to us about her, not only her photography services, but also the workshops that she offers for photographers of all levels in town to get better acquainted with whatever equipment they have. And it was also heartwarming to learn that Ashley also teaches photography for free at a local nonprofit. She empowers young women to learn about photography, and it is absolutely wonderful to hear that. Then we also met uh, Frankie Victoria from Vallarta Care. She's the president of the organization, and she doesn't know it, but she could easily become my next new favorite hero. She comes from Mexico City. She's fully bilingual. She's fully empowered and is creating great positive change for this organization and for the people that depend on its service. Vallarta Cares, in case you don't know, is an offspring of the, oh my goodness, the oh my God, what is it called? My goodness, hunger, feed, food, the Vallarta Food Bank. Apologies, I just forgot about it for a second. Anyhow, the Vallarta Cares came out of the Vallarta Food Bank as it started expanding its scope of services, and now it's an independent organization that works closely with the food bank and works closely with other organizations in town. And it is amazing the scope. To learn the scope of the work that they're doing. And finally, we heard not from Linda Vasquez, but from Tim Healy, who came to tell us about the upcoming Puerto Vallarta Chili Cook-Off. The interviews are already available on Facebook. I'm uploading them to YouTube as I speak so that you can take a look at them. And of course, we are already getting excited about our February interviews. We start with, oh dear, and I'm sure that Birth, if that is how you pronounce your last name, your first name, you will correct me if I'm saying it wrong. Birth Saint Sir is going to talk about medical services here in town for a local hospital. Delilah Boku is going to tell us about a fabulous show she is presenting at Act Two, I believe. And I think we will also have a surprise guest that asks for a little slot or maybe a big slot to tell about another event that is coming into town. And to wrap up my end of things, of course, Oh, this is going to be so wonderful. I was going to say it's going to be so much fun, but I don't know that fun would describe this upcoming presentation of mine. I think it will be very enlightening. This is called Bring a Tissue, where we will explore classical music that just brings us to tears. And also, we will explore instances in which music made or break film scenes that were absolutely devastating, and how music was able to amplify the dramatic devastation and maybe compel us to shed a tear or two. This, of course, on February 6th, a week from today, at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork. Bring a tissue and let's commiserate as we enjoy learning about sad classical music. And I'm going to look at your comments now. I see good mornings as usual, which I appreciate. Boom, 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 boom. Lots of good mornings. Thank you very much. Paula says, don't forget, if you want to join Oculto for lunch, there is a link on Paco's Facebook. No, I don't have a link on my Facebook. Maybe you should get in touch directly with Paula. Paula is putting together a lunch at Oculto for people that wish to get together and have a lunch at Oculto. I still don't know that I'm going to be able to be there, but definitely get in touch with Paula if you would like to meet a few folks from Coffee and Headlines. I read a lot about traffic shakedowns. I suppose justice was served. Be a good cop. Well, unfortunately, there's always going to be a bad sheep. That's part of the equation. So hopefully things balance out at the end. But yeah, it is not fun when this happens to anyone. And let's see what else we have. Yes, that was really amazing. Michael Buford, who is a friend and of course is a community partner for Coffee and Headlines, usually sends me a nice love note saying, don't spread the word. But the fact is, Michael Buford, as a business owner in town, is one of the most generous people I know. Not only is his character amazing as a person, he is a great business owner. His restaurants are splendid, and he has a huge heart. So if any of those reasons compel you to visit Bravos or Siam, his two restaurants in Emiliano Zapata, or his Siam restaurant in Los Tules, then definitely check it out. Paula says, Paco, it is in one of the comments I made. Sorry. No need to be sorry, Paula, but do remember that links don't show up in our chats after the broadcasts are over. And we do that intentionally to avoid people from spamming the conversation. Of course, I'm not referring to you. You are one of our regulars. But occasionally, you may not even see it. But people from all walks of earth will post comments that have nothing to do with Puerto Vallarta or what we're here to talk about, and they get automatically deleted. So that's just an FYI. Do you have or have posted a link to the tickets for the charro competition? Lots of people have posted on their Facebook page, but they don't have ticket info for their event. Thank you, Maggie, for that question. I think we have posted more links to news or the Facebook page for the charro competition than any other event ever before in the history of Coffee and Headlines. Why is that? Because we realize that they're very popular. So my suggestion to you is go look at the show notes for Coffee and Headlines and do a search for the word charro, and you will notice how supportive we have been of this event. Why? Because we know that it's important to you. In those links, you will certainly find a link to their Facebook page, where I am sure, and their website as well, where I am sure you are going to find the information that you are looking for. Best wishes with that. Um, Lars comments. I really found it interesting to hear about all the stuff Vallarta Cares do here in town, and how great of Michael to donate so much needed food items to Vallarta Care yesterday. Absolutely. And I forget if we discussed this during the live conversation or before we went live, but I was talking to Frankie about how it always amuses me to hear from uh, some people say, "Oh, we're days away from going back to paradise." And oh, how wonderful to be visiting paradise, or how wonderful to live in paradise. And I often wonder, and this is not to peer pressure you, it's simply an invitation to broaden your horizon. Every time you say Puerto Vallarta is paradise, I wonder if you've been to the trash dump, or if you've been to surrounding communities that are in need, people that have no jobs or no food to eat, or all kinds of things that we take for granted when we arrive in paradise. Um, that's some of the eye opening that went on yesterday through this very thoughtful, very important interview with Frankie Victoria. She was amazing. She's a woman with a mission, and I bow in her general direction because of all the work that Vallarta Cares is doing to empower people in communities that may or may not necessarily qualify as paradise, or maybe not to your version of paradise. I will post links to the interview once it is ready on YouTube. But for now, I want to wish you an amazing Thursday. I hope you have a great day. I hope you learned something new and interesting today. And as usual, I thank you for liking, for subscribing, for sharing, and for spreading the word of all the connections we are trying to do to make possible here at Coffee and Headlines. Have a great day, and I will see you again tomorrow morning. Take care.